No limits, no ceilings. Let's move. Yeah, we don't play small, now we rise different. New mindset, new life, new vision, no limits on me. I'm decided, level up season, I'm activated. Say no fear, no lag, no ceiling, no past, no change, no beating. I changed my mind, now I'm winning. Level up season, I'm living. I came out the fire with clarity. Pressure made power, no charity. Old me expired, no doubt about it. New assignment, I'm walking in authority. I broke agreements with struggle, cancel cycles, dead ran in my bloodline. I don't hustle from fear no more. I move with wisdom, timing, and guideline. They said stay where you at. I said watch what I build. I don't beg for a seat. I align and I'm skilled. This ain't luck, this is discipline. This ain't noise, this is strategy. I rewrote the script of my life. Now my future keeps matching. We don't play small, now we rise different. New mindset, new life, new vision, no limits on me. I'm decided, level up season, I'm activated. No fear, no lack, no ceiling, no past, no change, no bleeding. I changed my mind, now I'm winning. Level up season, I'm living, I'm living, I'm living. I'm healed, I'm whole, I'm focused. I don't move reckless, I move chosen. I had to share what was familiar to step into what was calling. I stopped explaining my growth. I let results do the talking. I don't revisit closed doors. I build new rooms while I'm walking. This for the ones who survived and still decided to dream again. This for the leaders in hiding who just needed permission to win. If you tired of repeating cycles, if you ready to think upgraded, put your feet on the ground right now. Say my life just escalated. Said I'm upgrading my mind. I'm upgrading.
All right. Good afternoon and great February. This is the first Sunday of February 2026, and I'm so glad that you are here. Listen, go get your family, your friends, get your notebook, something to drink. We're going to dive into our February series. Yes, I am excited to be able to come to you on today and speak with you concerning what the thought and mind of God is for this month, right? And so we have an interesting topic that we're going to deal with a subtext. Listen, we have a lot going on this February, so I want you all to follow me on Facebook. Please connect Facebook, IG, TikTok. Go to our website, www.dronikat.com, so that you don't miss anything that is coming up, because I want you to be a part of it. And listen, if you missed prophetic intelligence on this last Saturday, January the 24th, oh my goodness, it was phenomenal. The information, the impact, the room of individuals that were there. Listen, I'm excited, and we're having another one this February, which will be the 21st. But due to the weather, because you know we're snowed in right now, I'm not at my studio. We're snowed in, and so we will have a virtual event on February the 21st from 8 a.m. to 10. We'll keep you updated so that you can go and register. The link should be available no later than today, later on today, and we'll put it up so that you can go ahead and get registered. We don't want you to miss it. God has you on his mind. I want you to know. And you're on the mind of heaven and God. All right, let's go ahead and dive into what we're going to deal with. On this month here, we're going to deal with the series teaching, Stop Accepting What's Usable Because It's Given But Not Aligned. Stop accepting what's usable because it's given but not aligned. And for a subtext, we're going to deal with breaking agreement with misalignment. Breaking agreement with misalignment. There is a difference between what is handed to you and what is assigned to you. Many people are overwhelmed not because they lack discipline or faith, but because they're carrying agreements they never had permission to enter. They accepted what was usable because it was available. We do it all the time. We accept it because it's usable and it was available. They said yes because it worked. They stayed because it produced results. But this season is exposing a hard truth. What functions without alignment will eventually fracture your authority. I'm going to say that again. We're in a season that is exposing a hard truth right now. What functions without alignment will eventually fracture your authority. God is not challenging your work ethic. Come on. He's not challenging your work ethic, but he is confronting your agreements. What you allow determines what you empower, and what you tolerate becomes what governs you. This is not a season to make things fit. This is a season to break agreement with what no longer aligns with who you are, where you are going, and what God is building through you. I'm going to say it again. This is a season to break agreement with what no longer aligns with who you are, where you are going, and what God is building through you. We have some scriptures all this month that we're going to deal with. I'm going to go ahead and give you our foundational scriptures. Amos 3:3, it says, can two walk together except they be agreed? 1 Samuel 15:22 says, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. Genesis 26 verses 12 and 13 says, listen, then Isaac sowed in that land and received in the same year 100-fold, and the Lord blessed him. 2 Corinthians 6:17 says, wherefore come out from among them and be ye separate, saith the Lord. And my favorite scripture of all time, Romans 12:2, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. This teaching on this month is going to bring alignment and giving you understanding how important alignment is with agreement. Agreement is permission, and permission determines what has authority in your life. I will say that again. And permission determines what has authority in your life. Many believers, leaders, and marketplace builders are productive but misaligned. Yes, they are effective but eternally conflicted. I see your comments. They are surrounded but not supported. They are moving but not multiplying. I need for you to type in there, write it, however you're doing it, put it in your smart devices and say, I'm no longer moving without multiplying. Come on. I'm no longer moving without multiplying. The children of Israel, it reminds me of the story, and I'll get back to why we're teaching this month. The children of Israel, Pharaoh decided to make their workload vigorous. And he said the reason he wanted to do that is because he was afraid that they would join their enemies and outnumber them. Listen, it's okay to move. The enemy likes when you move, but there's no multiplying. The enemy was trying to stop the children of Israel from multiplying. But I need for you to put in the comments, I don't die, I multiply. Yes, I don't die, I multiply. When I move, I multiply. And this is why the enemy is on your trail. And we're in the second month of February. And I know you received a prophetic word. And guess what? God is a God that he shall not lie. If he said it, guess what? He's going to do it. But the trick of the enemy is for you to disagree with what was already spoken. I'll say it again. The trick of the adversary is to play mind games on you, to disagree what God has already said. But what God is saying, you have to align. Alignment is agreement. No matter what's coming, no matter what's presenting itself, alignment is agreement. You have to remove yourself from everything that is not aligned. I need for you to type and say, I am no longer receiving. I am no longer receiving. I am no longer accepting what's usable because it's given, but not aligned. I'm not receiving another unaligned thing in my life. Everything has to line up. Isaac prospered not because the land was easy, but because the land was aligned. We know the story about Isaac, and the Bible tells us that there was a famine and he sowed in that same year and reaped a harvest. But Isaac prospered not because the land was easy, but because the land was aligned. There was famine everywhere else. The blessing was not in the soil. The blessing was in obedience. God's favor follows alignment, not convenience. I'll say that again. God's favor follows alignment, not convenience. Saul lost his kingdom because he accepted what was usable. The sacrifice worked. The people agreed. The outcome looked spiritual, but it was not aligned with God's instruction. And many of you are missing what God has set in heaven for you and what he's already said about you concerning this 2026 year, because it's not aligned with his instruction. Many relationships are being dissolved, and it's not because we did not see the precursors. We chose to ignore the signs. And so now God is saying, because I'm so divine and I'm doing a divine reset, I'm coming in resetting everything about your life. God is coming in and doing a divine reset. And it doesn't feel good. If you're not careful, it'll trigger some old wounds. But the Lord said, it seems as if it is the enemy. But because you did not have enough strength to move when I was signaling you, and because these next 5 years is so imperative to what I have assigned for you, I will not allow anything to continue to hinder what I have for you. If it's not aligned with God's instructions, God is moving it out of your life. And you have to be okay with God divinely resetting you for what he has for you. Partial obedience is still disobedience, and sacrifice never replaces alignment. What you accept repeatedly becomes an agreement. You continue to accept bad behavior from your children. What happens? It's an agreement. And then they begin to grow up as adults, except doing the things that was usable but not aligned. And this is why discipline is so important. This is why boundaries is so important. And this is why obedience is so important. Why? Because whatever we accept repeatedly becomes an agreement. It's just like being in an abusive relationship. If you continue to accept the behavior of the abuser, you now become in agreement and saying it's okay to abuse me. Agreement forms systems. And so this is why many of you are continually going around the same mountain, because you have accepted what's usable but not aligned with purpose. Systems govern outcomes. I will say that again. Systems govern outcomes. If you do not break agreement with misalignment, you will continue to manage what God never told you to build. And so this is why in previous seasons, when things did not work, when your ministry did not work, when your business did not work, when relationships did not work, it is because you repeatedly accepted what was out of alignment. And because God is a good father, he's here now saying, listen, I've given you strength to let go of every misalignment in your life. Don't you know, when your car is out of alignment, it eats up your tires. If you're always buying tires and constantly, you may need to check to see if your front end is aligned. And this is why many of you all are wearing out. This is why many of you are constantly feeling fatigue. You're constantly having psychological warfare. You're constantly having battle after battle. Why? Because you're not aligned with what God has already purposed in heaven for you. You have chosen to agree with misalignment. You will continue to manage what God has never told you to build if you do not align. And so this is what this teaching is going to do for us on this month. And here we are, the first Sunday of the month. Our subtext for this month is, what we're going to tackle this month is breaking agreement with misalignment. Breaking agreement with misalignment. Recognizing misalignment. Our subtext is breaking agreement with misalignment. But on today, I want to talk about recognizing misalignment. Amos 3:3 and Psalms 127:1 is our scripture that we're going to build from. And what we're going to focus on is identifying where agreement has replaced obedience, learning the difference between access and alignment. And once we finish on today, you're going to have awareness and discernment. I need for you to put on there, I'm going to have awareness of what's misaligned and discernment. And we're going to dive into this teaching. And the reason why we're doing it is to move you from a place of survival-based decisions to governing alignment. I will say it again. We're doing this teaching this month to move you from survival-based obedience to govern alignment. It's here to help leaders, believers, and marketplace leaders to stop managing what God did not authorize and begin stewarding what he has assigned. This is about maturity, clarity, and sustainable impact. So let's go ahead and dive on into this. And guess what? This is what I'm expecting to happen out of this. After this teaching this month, you're going to have clear discernment between opportunity and assignment. You're going to be released from emotional and spiritual fatigue. You're going to be restored, restoration of authority and peace. Relationships, leaderships, and finances is going to be aligned, because anytime you get out of alignment from what heaven has assigned, everything around you is affected and affected. You're going to have increased fruit without increased strain. I'll say that again. You're going to have increased fruit without increased strain. So let's go ahead and dive in to today's lesson. Recognizing misalignment. Identifying where agreement has replaced obedience. There is a danger that does not announce itself as rebellion. It enters quietly through agreement. Agreement with systems that work. Agreement with people that feel safe. Agreement with access that looks like favor. But agreement is not obedience, and access is not alignment. Many leaders are not off course because they disobey God. They are off course because they agreed with something God never authorized. I want you to say that, type it, yell it, however. They are off course because they agreed with something God never authorized. And this is a subtle trap of this season. You can be surrounded, supported, and still be misaligned. You can have doors open and still be outside of God's order. Heaven is not asking who gave you permission. Heaven is asking who sent you. Amos 3:3 says, can two walk together except they be agreed? Psalms 127:1 says, except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Agreement is the currency of alignment. I need for you to write that in your notes. Agreement is the currency of alignment. Whatever you agree with gains the right to walk with you. I'll say it again. Whatever you agree with gains the right to walk with you. Whatever walks with you influences your peace, posture, and direction. Amos is not talking about proximity. He is talking about alignment. Two cannot walk together unless there is what? An agreement. An agreement determines destination. Many people have mistaken tolerance for obedience. They tolerate environments that once helped them survive. I need for you to shout, type, right. I'm coming out of survival mode. I'm coming out of neutral. They tolerate systems that made sense during transition. And many of you know transition doesn't feel well. When there is a transition, many a times there is a mourning. Why? Because in transition, we are being positioned for a greater capacity. The Bible puts it like this, which is a transition. Unless a seed falls to the ground and die, it can't do what? Produce a harvest. When somebody transitions and leave this earth and they transition, many a times, a lot of us begin to cry and mourn. Why? Because we are missing what once was. But can I tell you, wherever there is transition, it is speaking to us that it's an ending of one season and a beginning of something greater. But survival agreements cannot govern promised seasons. What once preserved you may now be preventing you from progressing. And this is why we go through transitional shifts. Because whatever preserved us in one phase, and if we continue to hold on to that, now is preventing you from progressing. And this is why I don't understand why many people in the body of Christ get upset, get jealous, get in their feelings, have sidebar conversations when others are growing and advancing. God is not a respecter person. You just have to decide and discipline yourself that I'm going to align with heaven. I don't understand. I thought the whole purpose of walking and obeying in this walk that we call spirituality, we call Christendom, we call kingdom, is to grow and advance. I'm talking to a few of you right now that you have tapped into who you are. You have become what God has ordained for you to become. And everything around you is acting crazy. They're acting like some strange thing. And matter of fact, they're saying you're the problem, when in actuality, they're the problem. Tell them we don't die, we multiply. Yes, Lord. We are to multiply. He told us to have dominion in the earth. What once preserved you may now be preventing you from progressing. Psalm 127 says, it exposes another layer of misalignment. It is possible to build something impressive that God never assigned. Effort does not equal endorsement. I'll say that again. Effort does not equal endorsement. Labor does not equal alignment. If the Lord is not the architect, the structure will require constant maintenance, constant striving, and constant repair. That is how you know something is misaligned. It drains instead of develops. You want to know how to identify if you're out of alignment, because it's going to drain you instead of developing. Agreement versus obedience. Obedience responds to instruction. Okay? Obedience responds to instruction. Agreement responds to opportunity. I'm talking about agreement versus obedience. Obedience requires trust. Agreement often requires compromise. Wow. You can agree with people, systems, and assignments that give you access, but strip you of your authority. Woo! I love that. You can agree with people, systems, and assignments that give you access, but strip you of authority. Access allows entry. Alignment grants covering. Access opens doors. Alignment sustains what comes through the door. And just because you are allowed in does not mean you are assigned there. That's just like entering someone's home and they allow you to come in. But that does not mean that's your home. You just came through the door. And just because you're invited does not mean you are aligned. Can I talk to some marketplace leaders and those might be in leadership or in leadership? Can I give you some insight? In leadership and the marketplace, misalignment often looks productive. It shows up as contrast that increase revenue but fracture focus. Wow. Partnerships that elevate visibility but erode peace. Roles that fit your skill set but violate your assignment. You were never meant to build from access alone. You were built to govern from alignment. Access without alignment always leads to overexposure. Alignment produces authority without exhaustion. Ask yourself this. Ask yourself this question. I want you to honestly ask yourself this. Who or what am I walking with out of agreement rather than obedience? I have another question. This is be true with thine own self right now. Where did you say yes because it worked instead of because God spoke? I have another question. I have one more question. What are you maintaining that God never told you to build? I'm just asking. I promise you, this is not condemnation. These are just questions. They're for your clarity. Think about it. These questions are prophetic insight. It should give you some prophetic insight. This is a recalibration. Okay, this is a recalibration season. Can I tell you what God is saying? This is a season of recalibration. God is not removing people to punish you. It's not a punishment. He is removing agreements, yes, Lord, to protect you. He is interrupting what works so you can step into what is aligned for you. Yes, Lord. What you release in this season will not weaken you. It will refine you. When awareness comes, confusion lifts. And we all know God is not the author of confusion. I need for you to say, awareness, come now. We're talking, we're getting to the close of things. Awareness and discernment. What happens when they show up? When awareness comes, confusion lifts. When discernment sharpens, decisions simplify. You stop asking, can I do this? And start asking, am I sent here? That shift marks maturity. That shift restores peace. And in my closing, I would love to declare the word of the Lord, a prayer declaration over you. And I want you to repeat this. I will not confuse agreement with obedience. I will not build what God did not authorize. I choose alignment over access. I choose obedience over opportunity. If the Lord is building, I will not strive. If the Lord is leading, I will not wonder. What I want you to do when we log off of here, and what I challenge you all to do on this week after hearing this, stop walking with what no longer agrees with your assignment and begin moving in step with what heaven has already approved. Can you do that for yourself? Can you love yourself enough to say, this week, after listening to this, after hearing this word, and after getting clarity, I no longer will walk with what's misaligned. Come on, and right where you are, just begin to give. Come on and give him praise one more time. I'm so excited. This is Apostle Nika T. Brown, Dr. O. And it was my pleasure and honor today on this beautiful snowy day to bring forth this word to you. Listen, I want you to share this word with your community, your family, your friends. Share it on your Facebook pages, your social media sites. And I want you to stay connected with us. I want you to stay connected. I'm going to ask each and every one of you to give an alignment seed. I'm putting the ways of giving up. We no longer have Cash App, but you can Zelle, or you can go to our website, or you can text to give. I'm going to challenge each and every one of you to give a Amos 3 and 3 seed, $33 seed. How can two walk together lest they be agreed? I'm asking you to give an alignment seed of $33. You can Zelle it at admin@dronikat.com. The ways of giving is there. And if you don't have $33, get $3. Get $330. I want to challenge someone to give a $3,000 seed. I want to challenge. And it's because God is a rewarder of his word. And when you release seed, harvest comes. I'm going to challenge. It's just one individual that I feel can give a $3,000 seed. And once that $3,000 seed comes in, we're going to testify concerning what happened when they released it. I believe God. I have no other thought in my mind that God is not a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. So get your $33 seed, get your $3 seed, get your $330 seed, and that one person get your $3,000 seed. And I declare now over every seed that's been sown that you will receive a harvest greater than the seed that you release. I declare that the alignment seed that you're releasing on today is the seed that's going to set the rest of this year, the rest of 2027, a time of great harvest, a time of great release, and a time of eye have not seen, ear have not heard, nor has it into the hearts of man of what you are about to become. Listen, as I said earlier, share this broadcast. Share it with your community. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram so that you don't miss what God is doing. This is your girl, Dr. O, and I'm so excited that you came on today. I'm so excited that the Lord has released a word unto you of alignment that's going to cause you to be all that you can be. I'm so excited. I'm excited about your now. I'm excited about your future. I'm excited about what the Lord is going to do for you and your family. And so I say unto you all, walk in kingdom authority. Live the best life that has been created for you. And guess what? Release what have been usable because it's been given, but not aligned to the word of God. This is your girl, Dr. OT. Until next time, walk in divine favor.
Yeah. This ain't hype for the moment. It's a transformation in motion. Dr. Onika T International. No limits, no ceilings. Let's move.
Yeah, we don't play small. Nah, we ride different. New mindset, new life, new vision. No limits on me, I'm decided. Level up season, I'm activated. Say, no fear, no lack, no ceiling. No past, no chain, no beating. I changed my mind, now I'm winning. Level up season, I'm living. I came out the fire with Perry. Pressure made power. No charity, hold me expired, no doubt about that new assignment. I'm walking in authority. Hey, I broke agreements with struggle, cancel cycles, they ran in my bloodline. I don't hustle from fear no more. I move with wisdom, timing, and God, man. They say where you at. I say watch what I build. I don't beg for a seed, I line, and I'm skilled. This ain't look, this is discipline. This ain't noise, this is strategy. I rewrote the script of my life. Now my future keeps matching me. We don't play small. No, we ride different. New mindset, new life, new vision. No limits on me, I'm decided. Level up season, I'm activated. No fear, no lag, no ceiling. No past, no change, no bleeding. I changed my mind, now I'm winning. Level up season, I'm living. I'm healed, I'm whole, I'm focused. I don't move reckless, I move chosen. I had to share what was familiar to step into what was calling. I stopped explaining my growth. I let results do the talking. I don't revisit closed doors. I build new rooms while I'm walking. Yeah. This for the ones who survive. They still decided to dream again. This for the leaders in hiding who just need a permission to win. If you tired of repeating cycles, if you ready to think upgraded, put your feet on the ground right now. Say my life just escalated. Say I'm upgrading my mind. I'm upgrading my money. I'm upgrading my circle. I'm upgrading my life. Say no more delay. No more doubt. I'm walking this. I'm walking this. I'm walking this. I'm walking this. I'm walking this.
We don't play small.
No, we ride different. New mindset, new life, new vision. No limits on me, I'm decided. Level up season, I'm activated. No fear, no lag, no ceiling. No past, no chain, no bleeding. I changed my mind, now I'm winning. Level up season, I'm living. This is growth with intention. Change with direction. Power with wisdom. Dr. Onika T International. If you ready for more, move.